to your front right, that one is Mount Makana. It's a pretty well-known or well-recognized landmark here on this island, mainly because it appeared in this 50s musical South Pacific, because that was the island Bali High in it. And beach located right underneath Bali High, coming up to your 3 o'clock. Always busy, that's KA Beach. Up to that point you can drive. The road on the north shore ends there, and that's where you'll find the beginning of the Kalalau Trail that gets you out to the Nepali coast. Now, if that beach is getting too crowded for you, all you gotta do is find another beach. That's not very difficult, because 50 miles of the 113 miles of shoreline here on Kauai are pure sand beach.
What is that, the white spots?
The white spots? Oh, those are just little caps. Like waves are white too. Or it just looks that way. Because water isn't really blue either, because the sunlight makes the water blue. Yeah, because the ocean is constantly moving. So yeah, it's just little caps, little waves.
Let me reach, let me beach on the shores of Tripoli. Let me sail, let me sail, let me crash upon your shore. Let me reach, let me beach far beyond the yellow sea.
So out of the 67,000 people that live on this island, so not a very huge population. We only got about 7% of the population Oahu has, but most of us live off the tourism industry. Wasn't always like that though, because if we just hop back in time maybe about 100 years, most people back then lived off the sugar industry. Yep, there were huge cane sugar fields on the south side, but those fields are all gone. Mainly we're growing coffee over there. West side grows corn and some soybeans. Here on the north shore, on the other hand, they have always grown traditionally taro. So if you see some fields, square fields, some of them sitting in water, do not mistake them for rice. They are, yeah, really for the most part all taro fields. And you can see them really well just off to your front left surrounding Hanalei Bay. If you're really not too sure on what taro is, then don't leave the Hawaiian Islands without trying some taro. Fried, it's actually pretty tasty because it's almost, yeah, tasting like French fries. But the Hawaiians, they really love poi. It's a paste which doesn't look too appetizing in my opinion at least. Sometimes it has this purple grayish, or sometimes it's in the brownish color. And flavor-wise, well, it doesn't really have much flavor to it. I think that's the biggest issue most people have with it, most tourists. But if you get poi served somewhere on a luau, or you see it in the grocery store, sure, pick one up, and that way you even get to support our local farmers. So 4 to 5 times more rainfall we get over here compared to the canyon side. And rain does form most of our waterfalls. But the problem is, rain of course comes and goes, and so do waterfalls. Sometimes within minutes waterfalls can appear but also disappear. That makes it very difficult, if not even completely impossible, on counting them. So nobody knows the exact number of waterfalls on Kauai. But they say that this island does hold more waterfalls than any of the other Hawaiian islands, and that totally makes sense because we get the most amount of rainfall, and that's also why they call it the Garden Isle. One of our longest waterfalls is that one just coming up ahead. It's called Waioli. It's about 2,700 feet long, and that's the waterfall you can see from Hanalei, but unfortunately you cannot hike to that one. There are no trails. A lot of people really have no idea what this island has to offer, and that's mainly those people that just drive around it because roads are very limited. The main road just really follows the shoreline. It doesn't even go completely around the island because the Nepali coast is left out. So is huge parts of the interior, which we've already seen a whole lot of. But there's even more. Yeah, valley lying just ahead of us is the Hanalei Valley. Chances are you're not going to come back to this one. Most Kauaians have not even really been in this valley because most of the time it does rain in here, and that makes the only trail through it extremely muddy and miserable. So you can skip the power line trail off on your left. So many days in the year with this valley gets so much rainfall that we can't even fly through it. Yep, which is really not that surprising at all because we're now slowly about to approach the Mount Waialeale, which is one of the wettest, if not even the wettest spot on the planet. Yeah, now it all makes sense. Now the Mount Waialeale, it used to be over 400,000 years ago a volcano. So it's no longer active today, but the crater walls of it, they're still standing. And those crater walls are 5,146 feet high. That's about 1,500 meters. They placed a rain gauge right on top of it. And it turns out the rain gauge measures in an average year already 466 inches of rain, which means we get 335 rainy days a year. So almost every day in there it rains. But there were years it dumped almost 700 inches on top of the Mount Waialeale. And in those years, yeah, it was declared as the wettest spot on Earth. And today it's wide open. You can see even all the way to the top, which is excellent news for us, because that means we get to fly inside it. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to fly into an extinct volcano. That's next.
So how often do you get
to go in here? That depends.
Yes.
There's sometimes days in a row we can't go in here. There's days it's wide open. There's days where one flight I can get in, the next flight I can't, next one I can get in, next one I can't. So it all depends. Definitely rainy days, it's much trickier to get in there than on sunny days. So about half of this island is state land. Earlier we established, Robinson family owned the biggest piece of land here, but the second largest landowner is a billionaire. His name is Steve Case. Probably better know him for his company, which is America Online or AOL.com. He purchased 16 years ago over 40,000 acres. Yeah, that's a lot of land again. So property just lying ahead of us, which extends all the way down to the south side, that belongs to him. And then another billionaire showed up just about 3 years ago. Mark Zuckerberg, which we know for Facebook, he purchased 700 acres up on the North Shore. Cost him over $100 million. So if you're thinking of potentially buying something here, it will be expensive. And then there's another billionaire over on the island of Lanai. His name is Larry Ellison. He's the man behind Oracle. It's a software company. He owns 98% of that island, so almost the entire island. That's just a few of those billionaires that seem to be buying a lot of land here. everybody. So we just received permission from the air traffic controller to enter their airspace. So time has come now where we gotta stop using the intercom. That's that FAA regulation. But I want to say thanks for coming out today. I hope you guys have a wonderful time here. One very last thing. Once I land, you guys are my last flight of the day. And so I'll be shutting down this aircraft. Takes a couple of minutes for the engine to cool down, so you can stay seated until the blades completely stop spinning. And then it's picture time if you like. Still keep the life vests on your body though. I know they don't look too awesome in the photo, but if you move that yellow back to your back, all you're going to see in the picture is a black belt. So problem solved there. Thanks for coming out again. Mahalo.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Passing by, see friends shaking and singing.